Welcome to Sparks 1524 Travel Log. I'm Nathaniel Miller. Cross Country 2021 is underway. I have departed Washington State and I am moving to Tennessee by way of a 12-week road trip, and I'll take you through it with me on these videos. Now, I want to open this series by discussing a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and if you followed any of my blogs, you'll know this. Volcanoes. Not all volcanoes are obvious. Not all volcanoes are towering mountains with great craters. Especially out here in the West, you could have a volcano right under your nose and not even know it unless you know what to look for. Bend, Oregon is a lovely little town in south central Oregon that is one of only 4 cities in the United States to have an extinct volcano in the middle of it. Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Honolulu, Hawaii, and Jackson, Mississippi. Those 4 cities all have extinct volcanoes within their city limits. Now, Pilot Butte in the middle of Bend is a 500-foot cinder cone. Basically, a cinder cone is a volcanic cone that's built from dry material that was thrown up during an eruption. Ash, rock, magma that is relatively hard and cooling as it flies up and falls is not built by spatter. Spatter cones are built by liquid lava that's fountaining up and falling back. Pilot Butte last erupted about 600,000 years ago, so it is considered extinct. But when you go to the summit, you can either take the trails up and walk, which is a good climb, or you can drive up. Just be careful driving because you are sharing the road with bicyclists and pedestrians. You get a spectacular 360-degree view of the Eastern Oregon high desert. In fact, the view is so good that you can see north to Mount Adams in Washington State on a good day. Pilot Butte is part of a volcanic field that exists between the Newberry volcano to the east and the Cascade Mountains to the west. There are dozens of volcanic features out here. If you start looking, you'll notice them. 10 miles from Pilot Butte is Lava Butte. As you drive across the high desert, if you pay attention to the ground, you'll see a lot of black stones, which is ancient lava flows. Now, coming down here to Fallon, Nevada, where I happen to be spending a couple of days, you will find the only active volcano in the state of Nevada. When I first came to Fallon back in the year 2000 with an F-14 squadron, we were using the bombing range to train with live ordnance, and we would drive out into the desert and just do a little sightseeing when we were off duty. We kept driving by big and little soda lakes, and we all noticed them because of the funny name. Well, I found out later that the name Soda Lake came from the fact the water is very alkali. It's a soda. So big and little soda lakes are just very alkali. Turns out they're volcanic Mars. A volcanic Mars is a shallow crater formed by a phreatic eruption. Phreatic eruption is a fancy name for groundwater that blew up. Groundwater came into contact with subsurface magma, flashed a seam, and boom! Big Soda Lake is about 1 kilometer across. Little Soda Lake is much smaller, but is believed both formed during the same eruption, and they are part of the same system, about 6,000 years ago. They represent the only active volcano in the state of Nevada. The Soda Lakes are monitored by the U.S. Geological Survey, specifically by the California Volcano Observatory, because if an eruption were to happen here again, the city of Fallon, the Naval Air Station, Reno, Nevada, a lot of areas could actually be affected. Most likely, the Soda Lakes will not erupt anytime in the near future. It is a geologically active area, as evidenced by a geothermal power plant next to the Soda Lakes, but there is no indication of any building pressure, any movement of magma, all the things that show a volcano is getting ready to wake up. When you're out in the West, look around. Read up on geology. You might be surprised at the volcanic features that are right next to you, literally right under your nose. If you found this interesting, I have linked in the description below a short video by Geology Hub, who is a YouTuber and a geologist I follow, and he did a wonderful small video on Soda Lake, and it was his video last year that clued me in on the fact that the Soda Lakes were actually a volcano. I've also linked my column on this, Volcanoes Under Your Nose, also down in the link if you wish to read a little more. Thank you for your time. I look forward to you joining me on this journey as I continue across country and eventually end up in Tennessee. In the meantime, go and do great things.